I pretended to be deaf for 3 years to find out what people really thought of me, and it destroyed my entire family. It started in my sophomore year when I got a serious ear infection that left me temporarily deaf in both ears for about 2 weeks. During that time, I learned how to read lips, and I discovered something shocking. People say the nicest things when they think you can't hear them. My hearing came back, but I didn't tell anyone. The first thing I learned was that my so-called best friend, Lena, called me pathetic. While she was sitting right beside me, she told Jessica it was kind of entertaining to pretend to care about my issues. "She's honestly so pitiful," Lena said, and I stared straight ahead. My parents were worse. Over breakfast, my mom whispered to my dad that she felt like she'd given up her whole life for nothing. My dad just nodded and quietly said, "Maybe it's just a phase." But the real gut punch came from my sister, Haley. Haley was 2 years older, perfect grades, varsity soccer, accepted into Yale. I thought we were close. I was wrong. One night, Haley had our dad drive her back from a study group. I was in the living room, pretending to do homework. They sat at the kitchen table. I could see them perfectly. "Has she always been this useless?" Haley asked. I kept my face neutral, but inside I was already planning my revenge. Over the next 3 years, I documented everything. Turns out my parents had a betting pool with close family friends about whether or not I'd drop out of high school. My guidance counselor told colleagues I was a lost cause. Even my aunt told my uncle she only invited me to her bridge club events out of pity. The breaking point came at Haley's med school acceptance party. The entire extended family was there, celebrating her future as a doctor. I was seated quietly, playing the role of the disabled disappointment. Then I overheard my parents talking to my uncle. My dad said, "Honestly, we're just relieved. At least one of our kids turned out normal." My mom laughed and added, "Maybe Quinn can qualify for disability support or something. We don't need to plan for her future." They were literally planning to cut me off financially because they thought I was a dead end. I stood up, walked to the center of the room, and clapped loudly. "Can everyone hear this?" I asked calmly. The room went silent. Haley turned pale. "Because I can hear everything," I said. "Every cruel word, every snide comment, every plan you've made for the last 3 years." My mom started to stammer. "What are you talking about?" "I just wanted to know what kind of people my family really was when they thought I couldn't hear them." I pulled out my phone and played a few recordings. My parents talking about the money they were saving by not sending their defective kid to college. Haley calling me a burden. Haley started crying. "We didn't mean it." "Yes, you did," I said, and turned to my parents. "You raised me for 18 years and dropped me the second you thought I couldn't keep up." I handed my dad the cheap bracelet they gave me for my last birthday. "Here, might as well save the money. You clearly only have one child." I walked out and never went back. 5 years later, I'm finishing my master's in psychology. Haley dropped out of med school after 2 years. Apparently, she couldn't handle it without mom and dad doing everything for her. They tried to reconnect, claiming they didn't realize I could hear. But I've got 3 years of recordings that say otherwise. People sometimes ask if I regret it. I don't. It had to be done. I learned the most important lesson of my life. When people show you who they really are, believe them, even when they think you're not listening.